Hello students, come to the next lecture, T distribution or students T distribution. It is used for testing the hypothesis when a sample size is small and population standard deviation sigma is not known. It is nothing but whatever the hypothesis is there, that hypothesis is we are testing whether the hypothesis is accepted or rejected. So for that, the sample size is very small and the population standard deviation sigma is unknown. So which is nothing but the standard deviation is not given in the question. Population standard deviation is not given. Now coming to the if x1 comma x2 comma x3 comma so on be any random sample of size n and from a normal population with mean nu and variance sigma square, then the test statistic t is defined by t equal to x bar minus nu by s by root over n, where this x bar is nothing but the sample mean and this s is nothing but the standard deviation, and which of formula s square is equal to 1 by n minus 1 of summation I equal to 1 to n xi minus x bar whole square is an unbiased estimate of sigma square. So what is meant by s here? S is nothing but the standard deviation and which is coming from the variance s square, and this s square is unbiased estimate of sigma square. What is meant by the sigma square here? Sigma square is nothing but the population variance. Yes. Now the test statistic t equal to x bar minus nu by s by root over n is a random variable having the t distribution with v nu equal to n minus 1 degrees of freedom. So what is meant by the degrees of freedom? So I given you here the meaning of the degrees of freedom. So before that, again we will revise about the t distribution formula. See here x bar is nothing but the sample mean and n is nothing but the sample size, nu is nothing but the population mean, and sigma is nothing but population standard deviation. Okay, so now coming to the definition, the meaning of nu as degrees of freedom, the number of independent variates which make up the statistic is known as the degrees of freedom and which will be denoted by small v, but we'll call it as a nu. In other words, the meaning of degrees of freedom, it is the number of values in a set of data which may be assigned arbitrarily, or it refers to the number of independent constraints in a set of data. So this is mean by the degrees of freedom, and this degrees of freedom will be denoted by small v. We'll call it as nu, and the value of nu equal to n minus 1. Okay, so now we are taking the critical values of this tree distribution with the help of nu and alpha. So those are the values are here, and these are the standard values of the T alpha critical values for the T distribution with nu degrees of freedom. And see, one more thing here, you can take this paper to the examination hall. Okay, right. So in the row wise, if you are observing, there are the values of degrees of freedom nu. Okay, these are the values of nu in terms of rows. And now if you observe the column 0.40, 0.30, 0.20, 0.15, 0.10, 0.05, 0.025, 0.01, 0.005. See, these are the column values and we'll call it as alpha. What is meant by alpha? Level of significance. Okay, so is nothing but the final conclusion of these critical values of T alpha. We are taking the combination of alpha and nu. taking the T alpha values with a combination of alpha and nu, right? So now we'll go to the first question, right? A random sample of size 25 from a normal population has the mean 47.5 and the standard deviation s equal to 8.4. Does this information tend to support or refuse the claim that the mean of the population is 42.5? So it is nothing but there is a data we are having in the question. The data in terms of a population and in terms of a sample. So we are testing this given data statistically. And the given data is success or fail that we have to identify with the help of t distribution. Is it clear, everyone? Right. So now, so observe what are the values are given in the question. Okay, a random sample of size 25. So can I say the given you the here sample size n equal to 25? Yes, from a normal population has the mean 47.5. So it is nothing but this is the value of mean. So which mean is given you here? A random sample of size for 25 from a normal population has the mean 47.5. So can I say this is the value of sample mean? Yes, sample mean x bar equal to 47.5 and standard deviation s equal to 8.4. So standard deviation, what is meant by s here is the standard deviation and this is coming from the sample. Okay, and here standard deviation s equal to 8.4. So what is asking to prove here? Does this information tend to support or refuse the claim that the mean of the population is 42.5? So at the population mean nu equal to 42.5, this information will you support or refuse, that we have to identify. Okay, so population mean nu equal to 42.5. See, this is the data given you in the question. So now I'm going to solving the solution. I mean whether the given data is a refuse or support, that I'm going to identify. So for that I'm using the formula of the t distribution. Okay, so we know that t distribution t equal to x bar minus nu by s by root over n is a formula. Okay, so t equal to x bar 47.5 minus nu value 42.5 by yes standard deviation given you here 8.4 by under root of n is 25. So by substituting in the calcium, getting the solution is 2.98. See, this is the value of t. So what is the value of modulus of t? Modulus of t is equal to 2.98. right, I got the value of test statistic modulus of t equal to 2.96. Now we need a value of the degrees of freedom. So what is the formula of the degrees of freedom? Degrees of freedom, and which will be denoted by small v, and will pronounce it as nu is equal to n minus 1. So here 25 minus 1 is equal to 24. So this is the value of degrees of freedom nu equal to. And to identify the t alpha value, to getting the value of T alpha from this table, from this table required a value of nu and alpha. So did he given the value of alpha in the question? I mean, level of significance? No, right? So let us consider, let us consider level of significance alpha is 5 percentage. So it is nothing but 0.05. See, if alpha value is not given in the question, then we have to consider the standard value as 5 percentage. Okay, so 5% means, can I say 0.05? Okay, right. So alpha equal to 0.005, and here no value is 24. Then the combination of these two, what is the value in from the table? Let's see now. See, in the column, in the row, we are having no values. Okay, in the column we are having alpha values. So alpha value is 0.05, right? See, here is your 0.05 alpha value. Yes or no? And now no value you had as 24. 25 minus 1 is 24. So the 24 value is here. See, 24 value is here. Then the combination of this 24 and this 0.05 is 1.711. Is it correct, no? Yes. So 1.711 is the value. 711. Right. So what is the conclusion here? Tell me. Here my conclusion is modulus of t value 2.98 and t alpha value is 1.711. So in these two, which is a bigger number? Is modulus of t is bigger number or t alpha is bigger number? Tell me. Modulus of t is bigger, right? So therefore modulus of t is greater than t alpha. So modulus of t is greater than t alpha means, can I say here we can say that the hypothesis is rejected. Okay, we can say that the hypothesis is rejected. Hypothesis is rejected. So hypothesis is rejected in the sense, can I say in the question is asking to find, does this information tend to support or refuse at mean population mean 42.5. So now what do you say? This information, whatever the information is given to you, it will be a refuse. Okay, yes or no? So hence the given data is refuse. Okay, right, we'll go to the second question. So let's read the second question. A sample of 26 bulbs gives a mean life of 990 hours with a standard deviation of 20 hours. The manufacturer claims that the mean life of bulbs is 1000 hours. Is the sample not up to the standard? Right. Let's read the question again. A sample of 26 bulbs gives a mean life of 990 hours. So it is nothing but given you a sample size small n equal to 26. Yes, and also given you the mean life. So which of mean life is given you? To this 26 bulbs of the mean life is given you, right? So now can I say a sample mean? Yes. So sample mean x bar equal to 990 hours. Okay, 990 hours is given you. And with a standard deviation of 20 hours. So standard deviation S equal to 20 hours. The manufacturer claims that the mean life of bulbs is 1000 hours. So it is nothing but a manufacturer. I mean, if the manufacturer will talk about the big set, I mean, he talks about the every bulb manufacturing by the company. Yes. So when the product is coming out from the factory, he is telling that the life of the bulb is 1000 hours. So can I say this mean is called the population big set mean? Yes. So population mean new equal to 1000 hours, right? So whatever the data we required, those all the values are given you in the question only, okay, except one value, that is level of significance alpha. I told you in the previous question, if alpha value is not mentioned, then will be treated as 5 percentage. So if it 5% is nothing but, can I say 0.05? Yes, so this is the value of alpha. Now come to the formula, that is t distribution, t equal to x bar minus nu by s by root over n. So by substituting the values in this formula, 990 minus 1000 by 20 by under root of 26. So what's the solution? Minus 2.5. See, this is the value of t equal to, then what is the value of modulus of t? Modulus of t equal to 2.5. So I got a solution of t equal to minus 2.5, then modulus of t become positive. So now similarly in the last question I found the value of modulus of t. Yes, after giving the data I just substituted in the formula of the t distribution, then we are getting the value 2.96. Then after getting the value of modulus of t, we found the value of the degrees of freedom, and after that we are taking a value of alpha, then combination of these two we are taking the value of t alpha, I mean critical values. Okay, so as the same way I'm taking the value degrees of freedom nu equal to n minus 1, and which is equal to 26 minus 1 equal to 25. So this is the value of nu, and also given you in the question, I mean alpha value we consider 0.05. Then the combination of these two again some similarly with the last question. See, 25 is here and 0.05 is here. Then the combination of these two is 1.708. T alpha equal to 1.708. So what is the conclusion in the question? Modulus of t value 2.0 2.5 and the t alpha value is 1.708. So can I say again here t modulus of t is bigger than t alpha? Yes, modulus of t is bigger. So then what do you say the t distribution hypothesis? It is rejected. Okay, so hypothesis is rejected. So hypothesis is rejected means, so as per the question, what do you say? The manufacturer claims that the mean life of bulbs is 1000 hours. Is the sample not up to the standard? So what do you say now? Which is rejected means? Yes, the sample is not up to the standard. That we have to find it. So hence the sample is not up to the standard. I hope everyone is clear to you. So now we'll see the second lecture on the same concept, t distribution. Okay.